Hello, guys. We're back again with another Sweet 16 basketball video. I'm not going to get on Corey this week because we're now hitting a regular little streak we have going on, and we're about to get into the playoffs. Yep. It's about to get really fun, and big games this week. And this man's going to have some big games next week. Mm-hmm. This is Brian Field, the basketball coach at Providence State. They're going to try to win the first 3A, Joe Badgett 3A state championship for a private school since 2004. Coach Badgett, Northside Christian, got on me last week because I was talking to Coach Brown and Christian about no private school teams winning since 04. I meant 3A teams because we all know that Northside Christian has won one, not two, but three.
Had a nice little streak there.
Straight state 2A championships. And I really have a feeling that Northside Christian and Davidson Day might meet up in the finals. We'll get to that later. Big games this week. West Charlotte at Robinson on Thursday night. North Meck lost to Huff. North Meck had 3 of their players suspended indefinitely for that game for violating team rules, including one starter who's really key to that team. I said earlier I thought this was one of the best North Meck teams they've had. That's a big loss for them.
It is.
Now West Charlotte has a chance to win the conference, but Robinson also has a chance to tie.
Yeah, they played really well. I mean, they're the team that, beat North Meck twice. The second time they had some of the off-court issues and stuff like that, but the first time I think they were full strength and just beat them.
LeVar Bass was not feeling well again.
Yeah, so, I mean, Robinson's a really good team. That's kind of we haven't really talked about a whole lot, and they've really, been right in the game. Who would have thought though at the beginning of the season that we'd be looking at that West Charlotte Robinson thinking that's the conference championship right there?
I would not have.
We just thought North Meck. I mean, even 2 weeks ago we were thinking North Meck. They kind of keep things going.
See, people talk about daddy coaches and daddy ball. LeVar Bass Sr. is doing a pretty good job. LeVar Bass Jr. The rest of those guys.
Yeah,
I mean they have a real shot. They have West Charlotte at home with a chance to win the conference title. I mean that's. That's all you can want.
Yeah, and talking about North Meck, I think they could still, make some kind of run in the state tournament. What really hurts them though is the conference seeding that's going to come out of this.
They won't get home court advantage. I mean, West Charlotte could potentially get home court advantage, and I'm telling you, Brian, you don't want to go to West Charlotte and play. That's a tough place. That's a really tough place to be. Coach Terry does a great job with all those different defenses and the pressure defense. He has a bunch of really phenomenal guards. Isaiah Blackman, the 1,000-point guy, had a phenomenal season. Big old skinny Simeon Carter in the middle. I mean, there's a reason why West Charlotte has been to like 6 regionals in 7 years.
And you mentioned it last week that he really knows how to make that push into February and really get him playing well right there.
He's really good about building his team slowly, and everybody always says, oh, they're not that good in December, oh, they're not that good in January, oh, they lost to some team in Maryland I never heard of over Christmas. But then they get to the regionals every single year, and I think this is another year. Page just got their big guy back. He had been suspended. They're going to be a tough out. Audrey Kell's going to be a tough out. But I think West Charlotte's going to be right there. And I think Robinson and North Meck, can be there with them.
Absolutely.
Butler, they're going to play Independence Friday, that big rivalry game. Butler winning they do it. What do you think?
I think they can win that game and win out the conference. That Rocky River loss, I guess it was, a week ago now? Something like that. Kind of threw off, because we kind of thought, that another one, that was a conference we kind of thought was
go undefeated
done.
Right through
they were going to run through it and be done, and then Rocky River made that upset, and all of a sudden it's a little bit of a tight race there. If Rocky River wins its 2 games and Butler loses this one, they're tied at the top
Rocky River's
there.
going to play on Saturday. They had some fights in the stands and marred their game on Tuesday night against Independence, which is unfortunate. So they're going to play on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And if Butler somehow struggles, that game could be for Rocky River at the top of the conference championship.
Absolutely.
You never know. But now we're going to get into stuff that you know. You have Charlotte Christian on Thursday night. How you get your guys to get up for that game, because it really doesn't matter. You've already clinched the conference championship. You know where you're going to be in state seedings. But they're going to really want to beat you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a rivalry game. I think, personally, I'm a little biased, but I think it's one of the best rivalries in the city, and it goes back several years. Christian had a great run a few years ago, winning several conference championships in a row, and I don't think our guys will have any trouble getting excited to play against their rival. It's Duke Carolina for us.
I think the target would be pretty big, that they've won 3 straight outright championships, and you don't think Christian wouldn't want to knock them off?
Absolutely.
Field's last regular season game to play.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of those. I mean, you talk about rivalries. You kind of the whole cliche of throwing the record books out and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're going to want to come out and beat this big rivalry game, but this Providence Day teams look really good this year.
Yeah, let's also look ahead to the private school playoffs. The parents come out, I guess, Sunday.
Sunday afternoon, yes.
And Victory's dropping down to 1A. Is this a cakewalk for them in 1A?
I think they'll be very good. Greenfield is usually pretty good out of the eastern part of the state. Trinity
Smith,
Christian, they've got one of the best players in the country. They can get hot and make some noise. So
Dennis Smith is so good from Fayetteville Trinity Christian. He was a freshman. I saw them play United Faith with Muggsy Bogues was coaching. He scored 20 points in the fourth quarter as a ninth grader to bring them back. And he was so good, I asked his dad after the game, I said, "Sir, what college is he going to?" The man laughed at me. He said, "He's a freshman."
Wow.
I mean, he's that good. And nobody knew who he was then. Everybody was talking about Quay Parker at that time. You know, this kid could just jump out of the gym. I said, "Oh, no, that number 4. Yeah, he's going to be special." And I called Dave Tellep and I said, "Dave, I've seen the best player in North Carolina in this age group. I'm telling you." And he's blown up after that. So Victory has a chance in 1A.
Yeah, I think absolutely they're good.
Northside 4-peat in 2A.
They could. They've really started to put it together. I know they had some
Key
lineup
losses.
changes early on in the season. I got to see them play a few games out of the Hoodie's House tournament, and they were sort of piecing it together still. But they've been rolling since the turn of the new year, and I think are very good. I think Gaston Day is very good in 2A. First Assembly is very good in 2A. So it could be a very competitive, maybe the most competitive 2A's been Davidson Day as well. Yeah, they've got some big wins.
You think that's the most competitive of the 3?
I think it's the most competitive 2A has been in many years. I think.
So it's not just Northside and everybody else like it was last
year.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think Byron Dinkins should really get consideration for Observer Coach of the Year. I think he's done a phenomenal job. To lose the type of talent they lost. I mean, Ray Kowalski's Concord's leading scorer. Now you got a kid, Tyshawn Alexander, who's playing as a sophomore at Oak Hill. That doesn't happen. And then you lose another kid, Devin Cooper to Ardrey Kell. Those are 3, college ball players that you take off, right at the beginning of the season. And here they are again, another 20-win season, another conference championship, probably another conference tournament championship on Friday night. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because you look at their roster at the beginning of the year and you're like, oh man, they're just going to cruise through some stuff. I mean, they're going to be stacked. And they lost so many guys and they're still playing that well. It's really impressive. So,
they still have that big target on their back. Nobody likes to see them come in, those big Under Armour jackets on and the bags. I mean, they look first class and everybody wants to beat them. And Byron is a UNC Charlotte graduate, right? And UNC Charlotte is having some problems with Coach Major. We don't know if he's going to be back next year. Could you see Byron making a jump?
I think if Charlotte decided to make a change, that he would be somebody to consider. He's a great X's and O's coach. His kids play very, very hard. They're really good defensively, but they run really good stuff on offense as well, and they're very disciplined. And so I could see that. I could see him going to college someday.
Another guy you probably don't know his name, DeMarco Johnson, who's a great player at North Meck and also is a great player at Charlotte, has expressed interest to me on Facebook over and over again. He wants that job. Be curious to see and I hope Coach Major comes back and is healthy, but if he decides that he wants to go on, it'd be interesting to see if they move to an alumnus. I think Bobby Lukes, because he cares so much about that program, went the extra mile, and that's kind of when they had their glory days. And now it'd be interesting to see if they go back that route. I don't know. But 3A private school playoffs. I mean, is this the year that Charlotte finally does it? We asked Coach Brown this question last week. It's been since 2004, I think, Charlotte Latin, and we haven't had a champion since then. I know the rules have changed, and they have reclasses. You guys don't.
Right.
Talk about that, and then talk about, is this the year?
Well, as far as reclasses go, it's something that we made a move as a conference to eliminate about 10 years ago, and as you mentioned, we haven't won it since then. I don't know that that's the sole cause, but I definitely I don't think it helps us, But the whole goal was to eventually put our rules on the same playing field with the public schools in hopes that we would be able to play some Charlotte-Mecklenburg teams. And as far as I know, there hasn't been any movement on that, and yet we're still competing for a state championship against teams that are playing with reclassed seniors. So. It is what it is. We knew that going into the rule change, and we just have to deal with it. You can't sit here and worry about it. As far as getting it done, I think there are some good teams coming out of Charlotte in 3A. I think we've had a good season. We were fortunate enough early on to play well against Greensboro Day and Wesleyan, who are 2 powerhouses, and it would take an unbelievable effort on our part to get it done. I do think. Latin and Christian both have good teams that can make a run in the state tournament as
Latin
well.
So
they do. They can. I mean, any team that makes threes like Latin makes threes can pull upsets and beat teams.
Coach told me something off camera. High Point Wesleyan, great coach up there, lost Quay Parker, one of the best players in the country, for the season. So is that going to dramatically change the field?
It could. I mean, and that's a big loss, especially at this point in the season, have something like that. But I think kind of like what you mentioned earlier, that you with the schedule y'all played at the beginning of the season, you played, some of the state's best teams, some of the country's best teams. I think that kind of gives y'all a gauge of where you are, and I think gives y'all a good chance to make a run here. But yeah, a big injury like that towards the end can really kind of shift things off as far as favorites.
I think this could be one of the Charlotte team's best chances to win. And so far, I know Christian got to the finals up in Asheville and lost. I think this is a chance to go up there and win. But Christ School playing on their home court.
Yeah, they're good.
It's not that long
ago
that I saw Plumlee, and state title.
Yeah.
So they're not that far removed from that. They got a new coach up there that's really turning things around. They're playing great defense. They just won the CAA conference championship.
They did, yeah. And Ravenscroft has started playing really well. Has won a lot over in Raleigh as well. So I think it's going to be a fun tournament, a competitive tournament, and I think there's a lot of different teams in the field that'll be able to win it.
Ravenscroft has a freshman named Tyler Williams. I'm telling y'all, he can play. He's going to be special. But anyway, that's our report for this week. Hopefully next time we see you, you'll be getting ready for a state title. Next time we do a video, and we're going to try to go see Dwayne Lewis at North Neck next week. Call me back, Dwayne. Catch you next time.